behind me you can see Rudder Lighthouse. It's on the sort of north tip of the Isle of Mull. We've walked along from Tobermory and you can see Ardner Merchant Point right on the end there. We're quite excited about Ardner Merchant Point, mainly because it's an area where you transfer from one sea area forecast to another. So it sort of sits in your mind as being quite important, and it's also the westerly most point of the mainland on the UK. So it's significant to us. So we thought we'd come and have a look at it. The weather today is meant to be a sort of force 4-6 blowing from the south. In Tobermory it's lovely and calm and warm. We've walked out here, you can definitely get a 4 I think out here, but we're thinking the other side of the island is probably more like a 6. It's been a lovely walk though. We're going to go and explore the lighthouse and see how close we can get. Well, when we got to the lighthouse it was extremely windy, so we didn't think we'd be able to get any clear footage. But the path, the track that got us here is really pretty. Got lots of little flowers along the way, very green, very wooded. The usual sort of major views across the Sound of Mull there. So we're heading back to get ourselves a tea and cake. Well, we're saying goodbye to Tobermory this morning. Finally the wind has dropped to something nice. The boat's repaired, it's behaving exactly as it should be. We're heading out to sea. Not going far actually, just going to go down the Sound of Mull for a little way. A couple of hours to Loch Aline. There's one thing about the Sound of Mull we have to look out for, and that is the high number of ferries. There's a lot going up and down. Keep a watch forward and back. But look at this view. These are some of the higher points of the Isle of Mull. We didn't come this far south because the buses were so infrequent. I think it's probably because of COVID still, not so many visitors. But beautiful, beautiful scenery. Well, you can see on our chart plotter in the top left there's that sort of blue area. That is the skinny little entrance to Loch Aline. You can see where the boat is. There's a little picture of a boat sailing along. So we're just about to make this entrance. And we've come around high water, so even though it gets more shallow, that's what the light blue means. The white is deep and the paler the blue, the more shallow it is. We should have plenty of water, so we can just sail straight over the top. Once we get in there, it's quite deep. It's just this narrow little entrance. Just a few ferries to dodge. Well, here we are. I'm on the bow. We're approaching this entrance. It's just beginning to open up. You can see a red canbuoy. We're going to leave that as we go into port. But it's opening up. You can see how small it is. Just on the other side of this, well, in the middle is the row berth where the ferry comes onto, but I think he's on the other side at the moment, so hopefully we've planned that perfectly. There are some mooring buoys inside as well as a small marina. So if we can get a spot, we might go in the marina tonight. Having 8 days on a mooring buoy, we could do with charging our outboard up. So yeah, looking forward to it. Should be really good. So we're coming through the entrance to Loch Aline. There's a row berth I talked about earlier. The little harbour is just in front. You can see a yacht and a couple of boats on that. But this is one tiny skinny entrance because that's the other side. Alan is concentrating quite hard, I think. Trying to make sure that we stay in the deep channel. Yeah. Oh, that's a hard face. We've got the chart plotter zoomed right in. I don't know if we can see it. I can if I get behind it normally. You can see we're right in the middle of the channel. We've got some waypoints to work to as well as buoys to show us where the deep channel is. We'll be in soon.
So we've arrived in Loch Aline. We got through the passage safely enough. We avoided the ferry, which is quite busy, and we are now safely moored in the marina, and we're planning on going for a walk once we've finished our delicious cup of tea.
We're on a walk from the marina towards our Tornish gardens. We wanted to check out the track to see whether we'd be able to bring our bikes along here, and we thought maybe if we're walking we might be able to spot some wildlife. We did not expect this. There are sheep on the beach. Freshly shorn sheep, some of them. I think we freaked them out a bit. They seem to be running away. I don't know what they're doing.
Actually, they look like they're half shorn.
Half shorn. Shawny half sheep.
It's good, isn't it? We've had cows in gear on the beach. Now we've got sheep in Loch
Aline.
Aline. Come on, Aline. Sorry.
Okay, so we've gone for a walk from Loch Aline, which is the little place that we're in is called Morven. And Morven is quite famous for removing the purest silica sand that formed about 95 million years ago. And there's some of it just here that they've been mining. But it is so white. It's like tropical sands. Can't believe how old it is.
And how fine.
How fine, yeah. It's used to make lots of glass for things like laboratory glass and lenses for cameras and microscopes and that sort of thing.
It was originally mined in the Second World War for telescopic sights because the silica was so pure. It's 99.9% pure silica.
It's gorgeous. We thought we might talk a little bit about where we might go next. I know I'd quite like to go to Loch Buoy and maybe go ashore at Oronsay. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. Ultimately, I want to go north. I want to get up to Skye. To do that, we've got to go around Arden Merchant Point, which gets a bit... It translated from Gaelic, it means something like really fierce water or something like that, so, or really rough sea or something. So we need to get some heather, because then we can put it on the bowsprit, and then that will get us around safely, apparently. And then there's some really sheltered water if you go up the Loch Sleet and then into the inner sound. So that's where I'd like to go. So we're still on the Morven Peninsula. We're still in Loch Aline, which is a really sheltered anchorage. We're actually on the pontoon. But we've decided to gain a bit of altitude so we can have a look at the sea state in the Mull. If you look over my shoulder, you can see our Tornish Castle, which is a very nice looking castle. We haven't had a chance to visit yet. And then if you pan round, you'll see that we get a better view of the sea state in the Sound of Mull. The Mull is the Sound of Mull is quite well protected. So when you have these 4 6s and 7s, it's not necessarily the case here. So we thought we'd come up and have a look. The sea state, if you're going north, does look pretty lumpy, but actually we're planning to go south. So we're going to go down to Oban or Carrera again to get some provisions for when Abby and Adam come up. So we're going to perhaps leave later on this afternoon or early evening and then take the tide down to Oban. Now, in case you're wondering why I'm holding this is a bit of Scottish heather, and it's for preparation for when we go around Arden Merchant Point, assuming that we manage to get around at some point this season. Arden Merchant Point is the most westerly point in the United Kingdom, and it is famed for its ferocious waters. I think it means something like ferocious waters in Gaelic. So what you do is you get a bit of heather and you tie it to your bowsprit, and that means you'll get around safely. So that's what we're going to do.
It's been quite a few days of really windy weather, and as you know, we were in Tobermory for quite some time, and we made our way down to Loch Aline, which is where we still are. It's still going to be blowing up to a 4-7 for the next 2 days, so we were on a pontoon, but we've decided that we don't need that anymore. We've charged up our batteries, charged up our outboard, electric motor outboard battery, and we have come down onto a mooring buoy. It's quite nice down here, actually. Alan's decided he'd quite like to do a bit of otter spotting. Apparently there are otters, so we might have a look for those. But hopefully just a nice peaceful evening. The wind this evening is meant to drop off and be quite calm. Picks up again first thing tomorrow morning and starts blowing all day. So yeah, sure things to do. Hopefully we can still get ashore in our dinghy, maybe go for a walk And we certainly need to go to the shop and get a few more provisions, because we are running out of food, and that would never do for the Smiths.
We set off from Loch Aline this morning, and our plan was to go to Oban, which is south. We were expecting northerly winds, and Loch Aline anchorage is really well sheltered. So when we got through the channel and out into the Mull, the Sound of Mull, the wind was from the south, and it was quite a bit stronger than we were expecting. It was 5 gusting to 6. Now the great thing about being retired, sorry for everyone who's still working, is that we can just change our plans. So we came out, the wind's blowing from the wrong direction, so instead of going south we went north, and we had a lovely, feisty but lovely downwind sail up the Sound of Mull to Tobermory. Bit of an interesting entrance once we got to Tobermory, because you have to come into the wind to get your sail down, and that's when you really realise that there's a force 6. But otherwise, brilliant sail, and we're now in Tobermory.
Well, as you know, we came back to Tobermory yesterday, pouring with rain yesterday, and so the waterfall I decided to come and explore by dinghy, and it is absolutely pouring out now. It looks magnificent. Glad I came to see it in the dinghy. It looks a bit special, but it's very popular with the wildlife. So this is me and my dinghy excursion, and I'm heading back to Seagull now. She looks magnificent on a mooring. You can see our little Scottish courtesy flag flying. I think Alan's in the cockpit. He was planning our next passage, hopefully up Loch Aline, whereas there's a bit of a weather gap hopefully in the next couple of days, so we can get out of here and go and do something fun. Happy sailing times, I hope.
I'm just doing some planning for tomorrow. We've got a bit of a weather window, and so this is what the plan is. We are hoping to go from here, which is Tobermory, up Loch Aline through some of these interesting rocks and islands, and then to here, which is Salem, which has got some mooring buoys and a pontoon, and then if the weather's still kind to us, carrying on up through this very squeaky bit up to here roughly, which is called Strontium, or Strontian, which is the town where strontium gets its name from. So we're quite excited to go and visit that, the element strontium. And the total journey is about 13 miles to Salem and about another 10 to Strontium. So that's our plan. And then if the weather continues to be kind to us, we're going to go around Ardnamurchan. So we'll come out of here and go around. This point is Point of Ardnamurchan. We keep going on about the fact that it's the most westerly point in the United Kingdom. Very rough waters around there. And then we'll make our way up to, a bit higher up actually, to Mallaig. So those are the plans.
Right in the middle of the shot. There he is. Oh my God, he's so cute.
You could conceivably put a very well. It's
and
okay.
there again.
I mean, sorry, I can see it again.
He's swimming along. He must be looking for his dinner, I think.
It's not. I don't think it's a galvanic.
Sorry, you can hear Alan chatting in the background. He's on the phone, but I am not missing this moment to film. He's swimming right up to the stern of the boat in the marina. Look at that. Nobody there to see him. What a fantastic sight, diving. We finally got an otter and he's sat on a buoy. We got him there with a little fish. Just showing off now. I can't believe we're seeing an otter. Oh, that is just magnificent. That's totally made my day. why on this gorgeous day are we sat here in this anchorage. We've got the best sailing weather. Nearly every other boat has gone and left us. It's even worse than that. You've done all the chart work, you've plotted all of our points on the GPS, you even gave me a time that we were going to leave and the fact that we were going to arrive in Loch Aline in 2.5 hours on a booked mooring ball. I'm so sad. Why are we here?
This is the problem. This is the impeller cover. Inside there is the impeller. That's connected to the water pump, which is back here. Draws water up there and then onto the engine and the exhaust and cools everything down. It should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these little bolts. They're only small, but I don't know how well you can see those, but that's how big they are. And it should have 6 of those holding them in place, and in fact we only have 4. And what we found is just the head. Just the head that's popped off, sheared off. What's really annoying about this is that these are an upgrade. These are a stainless steel bolt that I bought when I bought the impeller kit last season, and they failed in less than a season. And the fact that they failed catastrophically is a real worry. The problem is that we can't go out knowing that 4 of the bolts are holding it in place, because if any more of them fail, and it looks like it might be a problem with the material, then we've lost our engine. So we've ordered a new part. It's coming from, of all places, Sheffield, and it's going to be couriered up, but they're not sure if it's going to get here tomorrow, and if it doesn't get here tomorrow, it's going to be Monday, which is the perfect 4 days of sailing that we've been hoping for the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks of complete storms has gone to be replaced by gorgeous weather, and we're stuck here.
Don't you just love sailing?
It's brilliant.
Anyway, we're in Tobermory. It's a very nice town. The cafe that does the most fantastic breakfast is now open, and we've been to console ourselves by having a nice breakfast this morning. So no complaints. The sun's shining. We're going to try and do a bit more sea otter spotting. That's not easy to say, and then we'll wait for the part to arrive. I might try and drill it out once I'm sure that we can replace. I might try and drill it out. So we'll keep you posted.